Hello and welcome. With my presentations, I provide information that I hope will be helpful to you in your real estate journey. You won't get a sales pitch. You won't be asked to sign up for anything. This is just education for you. I'm Ron Pieper. I am the principal real estate broker for Veteran Realty located here in Virginia. So, what's better, buying or leasing real estate for your business? There are clearly differences between buying and leasing, and there are similarities too. These differences and similarities are factors I would encourage you to consider when you're deciding to buy or lease. Here's my spoiler alert. I actually can't tell you whether it's better to buy or to lease. That's because the answer depends on factors pertinent to each of you, where one of you may benefit from buying, another person may benefit from leasing. I would need to consult with each of you to understand what is important to you and for your business, and then we would have a recommendation. But I can do this, and I'm going to for a few moments. I can point out some factors to consider to help you in assessing which approach is better for you, buying or leasing. When I ask this question in class, I get a lot of different responses. I hear things like, buying is more costly than leasing. That's often a myth, not always true. Leasing is more convenient because maintenance is less demanding and less costly. That too is not always true. Buying is harder than leasing because of higher upfront costs. Now, this one is often true, but not always, so don't worry about it yet. Leasing is safer because a tenant can more easily move out of the space should the business struggle or for some other reason you have to move out. And that's better than being burdened with owning the space. Okay, this is not always true, if ever. Okay, let's talk about some factors to consider, and I have quite a few here for you. For owning, you have an asset. You have equity growth, which is essentially money in reserve. So when you move your business out, you can sell the real estate and possibly get all your money back and perhaps even more. For owning, again, because you have an asset, you can lease it to a tenant when you no longer use it for your business. Now you have a source of revenue as a landlord, commercial real estate landlord. Another one for owning, you can have more flexibility in what you do with it since you don't need landlord's permission for specific business operations or for configuring the space and hanging signage and having parking spaces and a number of other things. For leasing, there's possibly less upfront costs. Buying will include a down payment when there's a loan and some closing costs. When leasing, a tenant may just pay a security deposit and perhaps some advance rent. Another one for leasing, you can still be obligated to pay for the full term when departing early. This is really important. Most people I talk to don't understand this or don't know about it. Without some form of protection in the lease, when you want to leave early, you may still owe the full rent for the duration of that whole lease term. Leasing, another one, tenants will usually still pay for maintenance and the landlord's insurance, property taxes, and more with your rent payment. Tenants don't necessarily save on these expenses when they lease versus own. Leasing or buying, you will still have build-out costs to set the space up for your business. Sometimes landlords will help a tenant with some build-out though. That's something you should try to negotiate in the lease if you're leasing versus buying. Another one for buying, commercial mortgages can be difficult to obtain for some people due to their financial posture or lack of history in successfully operating the business. A lot of lenders will want to see that you have been operating your business for a couple of years and preferably with some good success. Commercial lenders will also often limit their lending to a narrow list of types of businesses and locations. Another one for leasing, landlords may not renew or extend leases, which places quite the dilemma on you as a business owner. Landlords may also increase rent. Okay. Another one for leasing or buying, monthly costs may still be about the same. And that's true in many cases. For buying, in some states, like here in Virginia, a buyer can negotiate for a feasibility study period. During the period of the contract, the buyer can conduct a number of inspections, evaluations, and other means of assessing the property. Okay. This comes with a contingency, meaning that you as a buyer can void the contract when you don't like the results of your inspections. That sounds pretty cool. When you're considering a rental property, you may not be able to inspect it thoroughly, and then you discover problems after you're already in and obligated to pay rent. That doesn't sound so cool. Again, I'm speaking about an opportunity afforded for buyers here in Virginia. I recommend that you check into this study and inspection period thing for your respective states. Each state would have different rules on this. There can be many factors to consider, and I covered quite a few, and I think this is a pretty good list for now. I do suggest that you approach this by considering potential circumstances that you may face. So the factors I just mentioned here are essentially circumstances, but decide how you want to be positioned when facing those circumstances that you're considering and how you would like to avoid them. That's pretty nice to do, or maybe just to mitigate them. Start with this list and perhaps have someone like your business partner, a consultant, or a commercial real estate agent help you consider additional factors. But this is very good homework to do up front. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope this information will be of some value to you. I wish you the best of success. Cheers.